let's now, as Professor Cummings said, this skenao, not only the root word means nest, but it also means to tent, to pitch a tent. And that's what we are going to be looking at today. We're going to be looking at this tent that was pitched in the wilderness during the wanderings, early on, during the 40 years, after the Exodus, when Moses when God led the people of Israel out of Egypt, led the people out of Egypt and into the wilderness, and they were able to build this tent. So yesterday, we looked at redeeming Adam. So the idea that the faculties that we have, the 7 faculties, the eye, the hand, the ear, the tongue, the neck, the head, the heart, the 7 primary faculties, they all need to be redeemed, and they all need to be sent to war. They need to be sent into the service of the king, right? And how do we do that? Well, when we come to Christ, Christ will deploy different parts of us as a body. Some will be the eye, some will be the tongue, some will be the hands, some will be the ears, some will be the neck, some will play the role of the head, some will be the heart, right? Now, we see the same pattern of 7 now in the wilderness, right? Because in the wilderness, you have 7 principal moments of worship. We have 7 Jewish pieces of furniture, of which the menorah is one of them. And each of these moments of worship, or stations of worship, if you like, right? Modal excellencies are typified or in these furnitures or in these pots of the tabernacle, from the outer to the inner to the most holy place. Okay, so this is the blueprint given to Moses. Okay, so when we look at Moses himself, you are going to be looking at somebody who rescues. You can look at somebody who is a teacher, right? Because he's not around to interview him, you have to look at other primary sources. So for me, I think I'm going to go with Moses as a teacher because of the way in which he organizes the information in the book of Deuteronomy. And I think his hat is that of a rescuer or a leader. But I think elementally, he probably had this innate ability to organize terrific detail as a didasco. Okay? Now, these cards have been distributed to you. If you don't have a set of these 7 cards, they are the most basic cards that you can use to diagnose yourself and your spouse and your children, and then your team, and then your church members. Okay? And they are available from our office, or whoever it is that invited you to this conference. Just ask it from them. If they don't have it, no problem, we'll get it to them, and then through them to you. Okay? So each of the cards color-coded into the 7 colors, right, of the modality spectrum, and they represent different aspects. This particular orange color card or gold color card is representative of the teaching component. In Greek, the word is didasko, and it is in the tabernacle, it is representative of the laver, where the priests clean their hands and their feet, or the hands. And it's one of the pieces of the furniture in the outer court, right? So you have the gate, you have the fire altar, and then you have the laver. So those three modalities, three stations, or three pieces of furniture. And then on the inner court, you have the menorah or the candlestick, followed by the table of showbread, right? Or table of fresh bread. And then you have the altar of incense. So you have the incense altar, right? The outside altar is the fire altar. The inside altar is the incense altar, which must be kept going 24/7. And then you have a curtain, the second curtain, which is leading to the Holy of Holies, which is the Ark of the Covenant. So that is the structure of the Old Testament tabernacle, or the pattern shown to Moses on the mountain. This is the mountain design, right? But then it's picked up in the New Testament in one verse, okay? And I was so excited when I found this verse, right? 1 Corinthians 14:26. I'm going to share this verse with you, because this true light, this white light, and beloved, I want you to really take seriously the first 18 verses of 1 John in both the Greek and English. In the 18 verses of 1 John and John chapter 1, you find that there's this light that when it comes through the ecclesia, it splits into 7 different functions. Okay, so going back to the 7 different functions, the color blue, which is the genius of the hand. You'll see the genius of the hand, right? This is called diaconia. They are the most artisanal people in your church, right? They make you look good. They make everything look good, right? This is excellent, the spirit of excellence, like what Daniel had, right? Next, you have the teacher, the teaching aspect. You need to have teachers. Go and find teachers. Test them, find them, groom them, mold them, right? And this is the genius of the ear. These people can break down very complex ideas into very simple form, right? You need this flame. Then you have the one in the middle of the menorah, in the middle of the candlestick, the one that's right in the middle, the balanced one, right? This is the paraclectic, genius of the tongue, communication of the tongue. Very important, digital and media. That's how we can have a digital conference, right? Because of the support that you get from your parakleos, right? Then you have the unseen. This is sardis, right? This is behind the scenes, sardis. This is the metadidomi. This is the ones that they speak 4 times a year. They open their mouth 4 times a year, right? But they're the biggest givers of all, right? They're completely silent, behind the scenes people. Metadidomies. You need to know who your metadidomies are. They are the supporters, the givers. Then you have the gatekeepers. This is the steel color. This is the gift of the head, right? They stand at the gate and they sort out the confusion and the priorities, right? What needs to be done first? That's the gift of the head. And then finally, in the lampstand, you have the you have the Laodicean one, which is the gift of the heart, compassion and empathy, right? The previous one, the metal, the steel one is Philadelphia. So that's how we get the 7 churches are split up. You can see the function of the prism, the New Testament prism, the ecclesia, will split up into 7 different types of churches. These are not denominations. These are expressions of the one knowledge, of the one light. There's only one church. There are not 7 churches. There's only one church. So Sir Isaac Newton, his experiment in optics in 1642 he was born. In 1740 something he died. Within the short period of 30, 40, 50 years, right? As he was the chair of the mathematics chair, the professorship in Trinity College in Cambridge, at the time of the Black Death, right? When the apple knocked him on the head, right? And he asked a question, how come the moon doesn't knock me on the head? And he discovered the planetary motion and the principle behind why the moon doesn't collide with the earth and why the earth doesn't collide with the sun. He discovered universal gravity that to this day is being used. In fact, 1969, universal gravity and the principles of the mathematics behind it sent a man to the moon. Newton, through his experimentation, came out with the 3 laws of thermodynamics. Remember, every action has a equal and opposite reaction, right? But he also came out with this experiment on the screen, which is the prismatic experiment. And prismatic leadership is what we see in Moses. We see the light of God in the 10 commandments. We see the refraction of the glory of God to a certain extent, but it's not the full extent.